everyone. Good morning to you. Thank you for being here today, seniors. My name is Mark May with McAllen ISD, and welcome to our McTalks Distinguished Speaker Series. This is a series that began in 2016. We had to stop for a couple years due to COVID, but this will be the sixth installment that we've had, and it's called McTalks. You've probably heard of TED Talks before. I've seen that on YouTube. It's kind of inspired by that, and what we do is we bring in people with an interesting story to tell, a story that they can share that will resonate with you, that will hopefully give you something that you can work with as your life hits the fast forward button, which it's going to do right after graduation. So today we have two wonderful guests, very outspoken, very well known, who have great stories to share with you today about what they went through when they were in high school, just like you, going to college, finding their career path, how they managed to make that happen. It's not easy. It's something that takes a lot of hard work, but if you persevere, you can make it happen, and hopefully you can take something away today that will help you along that path. Before we go any further, I would like to thank the principal here at Memorial, Mr. Pete Alvarez, for providing the venue today. Could we have a round of applause for him and his staff? Thank you. And I want to appreciate you guys as well. So a quick cheer if you're representing your respective high school. Let's start with Lamar Academy. Lamar, I know you're there. How about Achieve? Achieve Early College, great. Rowe High School, where are the Warriors seated? Good. And Mackay. Mackay's here. And Memorial, did they make it? Oh yes, of course. All right, thank you guys. And let me introduce to you some special guests that we have before we get started. We have our executive leadership team that is here that kind of oversees the entire school district, all 30 campuses, all 20,000 students that we have from elementary through high school, and then up and down McAllen ISD. We'll start with our superintendent of schools, Dr. Jay Gonzalez. Our Associate Superintendent for Instructional Leadership, Ms. Bridget V. Our Assistant Super for Instruction, Dr. Rosaba de Hoyos. And our Assistant Superintendent for Business Operations, Ms. Adele Felix. Assistant Super for District Operations, this is Alejandra Gonzalez. Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, Mr. Todd Miller. And then our Director for Fine Arts for McAllen ISD, Miss Deborah Loya. All right, here with some opening remarks to get us started. Please welcome, he's been our superintendent since 2016. In 2020, he was selected as the Texas Superintendent of the Year, Dr. Jay Gonzalez.
Good morning, students. It's so nice to be here with you all. And by the way, you guys look great. You're such a respectful audience. It says a lot about your campuses. It says a lot about your teachers. It says a lot about your families, your parents, with regard to how much respect you're showing to our presenters. And to be here today is a treat for you. You see, sometimes in life, there's going to be moments of impact where you hear a nugget of truth, where you hear a story that inspires you and changes your frame of thinking, changes your perspective of the world. And I can assure you that today is going to be one of those days. We have two wonderful speakers for you today. We have speakers that have stories that will inspire you for certain. These people worked very, very hard. And just the fact that they're giving of their time to be here with you today says that they're here to pay it forward, because there's a lot of people that helped Dr. Ivan Melendez get where he is, and Attorney Leah Wise helped get where she is. And they're here to pay it forward. And one day you're going to be in a position, whether you're a commercial pilot or in the military, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, an educator, whether you're a business owner, just don't ever forget to come back and pay it forward to inspire people. As I look across the audience, I can't help but just feel this sense of pride. I've been with this district for a long time, and I've been here because I care about each and every one of you, and I want to make sure to do my part with a team of individuals to put you in a position to reach your full potential. And today, McTalks is just one of the vehicles we use to inspire. So enjoy. Thank you.
All right. Ivan Melendez attended McAllen High School and later earned a bachelor's degree in biology at the University of Texas at Austin. He then graduated from the University of Puerto Rico Medical School with his MD degree. Dr. Melendez is a hospital-based physician in emergency medicine and is trained as a family physician. He has lived in McAllen most of his life and currently serves as the health authority for Hidalgo County. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Dr. Ivan Melendez.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I was asked to move away from the podium, which is fortunate so you can see me. Today, I was also reminded that I needed to tell you what I do. I mean, what else would I do, right? It's really interesting when you hear people introduce you because you always feel like, but I'm so much more than just that, right? Today's my favorite topic that I'm going to talk to you about. The only thing that I'm truly an expert in, it's me. I love talking about myself. There's someone in the audience saying, hey, we're counting the minutes. And so, because, man, I've been so blessed. I grew up 3 blocks away from here in those little shacks on 2nd Street when you're coming to school or when you're driving to get here, those little, right here, 3 blocks away, we used to throw grapefruits at cars from the canal. We'd sit up here in the orchard because that's what we had. And so you can imagine the pride that I have that someone thinks that I'm important enough or impactful enough to give me the pleasure to come talk to you guys. And so I hate flexing, but part of what I have to tell you today is I have to flex. So I either can tell you a little bit about my life or take my shirt off. What do you guys choose? All right, I heard that loud. So let's go maybe start backwards. I am a physician, but I'm a lot more than that. I have so many jobs. I even stand on little cakes at weddings. And so there's so many different things that I do that it'll amaze you. So, back in the day when I was growing up, you wanted to be just like your hero. And my hero was my dad. And he was a physician. And so I had no business really getting into medicine. As you can tell, my personality is your typical doctor. But sure, I'm glad I did. And so I went to Wilson, Lamar, Mac High, Pan Am, UT Austin. Went back home where we're originally from, Puerto Rico, because it was a U.S. school, and it was $500 a semester instead of $15,000. Came back, went to Baylor. I did a MedPD residency. And so my format is where you are now. The thoughts that you're having now, the questions that you're having now. Different times. We didn't have phones, to be honest with you. I'm so old that I still remember we were the first people on the block that had a television back in the 60s. I remember when John F. Kennedy was assassinated. That's old. And so a lot has changed, but people have not. We've been around for about 192,000 years. Homo sapiens are very interesting people. Neanderthals, which we crossbred with, you'd go to the river and Neanderthal would look at another Neanderthal and they would say, hey, Joe, there's a crocodile. He's in the river, so when you get there, be careful, because he'll eat you. Okay, thanks. A Homo sapien would get to the river. You look in the river, you see the crocodile, he'd come back, hey, Joe, there's a crocodile in the river, be careful. And you know what? That crocodile, he's a spirit of the supreme being that has made us. And I'm super connected with him. So if you give me some of your food, I can hook you up. And so men, Homo sapiens, we were designed to join together forces so that we could conquer. And so we conquered, evolutionary. But by doing so, had to develop these social capacities to interact with each other so we could work as a team. Whatever profession you choose, it's going to be a team. And so we did so. And that's where we're able to prosper. And really, we're the only primates that are really left. We're the only Homo sapiens, wise ones that are left. Because we were able to adapt, to invent to imagery. Well, why would someone take your banana away today so you could get 5 bananas on Friday, right? That's a tough concept. Give me your banana, and on Friday I'll give you 5. Hell no, right? So we're very special. Everyone in this room is special. For me, when I can tell you all the stories about where I was, where you were sitting. First, I was afraid I was scared. I didn't think I could do it. And like you all, I was warned about global warming, how bad the world was, social inequities, how my future was going to be so bad, overpopulation, not enough food. The same thing you're hearing. We've been around for 200,000 years. The world was formed 4.5 billion years ago. We've had 120 billion human beings live. We have 8 billion now. In 1800, there was 1 billion. When I was your age, there was 4 billion people. Life can sustain on this planet only about 10 billion people. By 2050, there will be 10 billion people living on this world. In order for us to live, not to saturate the carbon dioxide, we're going to have to be ingenious, invent. 90% of the food right now, it's being farmed, it's being grown. We are no longer in the stage of human development where we are able to sustain without having ingenuity and intelligence and technology. So it requires so many different people, so many different things. But when you're feeling, I was in Antarctica about 2 months ago. It's true, the world is melting. If you ever get to go to Antarctica, emperor penguins are this big. I mean, I'll never wear a tuxedo again. They're this big. It's very intimidating. Yeah, the world is melting. There's some bad stuff going on. But you know what? If we go the way we're going now, we probably have about 1 billion years to go before carbon dioxide is saturated. And we probably have about 8 billion years to go. If you believe in science and math, which I do, to me, science is math. It's not political science. It's not medical science. It's just math. And if you believe in math, you know the first law of thermodynamics is what? Energy cannot be made or destroyed. The second law is everything moves toward disorder, through entropy. So the same math that gets us to the moon and back is the same math that says that this world in 8 billion years, it will be sucked up by the sun. In 1 billion years, won't sustain life. Well, I think that's you're cleared, and your kids are cleared, and the grandkids are cleared. So whenever you're feeling gloomy about the future, man, don't worry about it. There's lots of time. And don't hold back your dreams because the world's going to end. Because we're led to believe that nonsense. So it'll be here. There have been 4 occasions where we almost destroyed the entire population, right? There's this mountain, this volcano in Indonesia, Toba. It exploded in 75,000 years ago. All this volcanic ash darkened the world for 10 years. It was like a nuclear holocaust. It killed the majority of Homo sapiens that were alive. But we adapted. We learned how to come together. We moved out of Africa and into Asia. That's why people who are racial, people who are against blacks or Asians or Hispanics or indigents, it's pretty ignorant. It's really ignorant because that's where we come from. That's who we are. It's like being racist against your cousin. So, although I got a weird cousin. But if you see it from that perspective, if you say, man, there's plenty of time, it takes a lot of pressure off of you. And so I'm here to tell you that there's a lot to be hopeful for. Everyone probably in this room believes that you're not better than anybody. You know how when you fly and you get on an airplane, and I'm cheap, so I always go in the back, and you walk into first class, right? And everyone looks at you like this. Okay, you know that attitude? There's very few people I believe in this room think they're better than other people, right? So you guys know math, right? So 1 + 2 is 3, 2 + 1 is 3. That means if you're not better than other people, guess what? Nobody's better than you. So when you feel somewhat challenged, embarrassed, I don't know if I can do this or not, just remember, everybody has a different skill set. In fact, part of maturing is understanding. Yeah, some people can sing better. Yeah, some people can run faster. Today is like a pep rally for brains, as opposed to a pep rally for football, right? I look at it and I see a lot of brainy people. And so just because you're smarter or not as smart, you don't have to be intimidated by anybody. Find your skill. Find where you're coming from. Find what you're good at. And you'll prosper. So, back to my favorite subject, me. You're a lot more than your profession. You're a lot more than a doctor or a teacher or an attorney. You're a lot more than that. That's just a little bit of who you are. There's your mystical life, your spiritual life, your work life, your personal life, all sorts of lives. And just don't pressure yourself so much. I chose to be a doctor, and guess what I've done as a doctor? I used that to open the doors. I was on Broadway. Well, that's not true. Let me restate that. I went to New York to be on Broadway. But everyone looked like Brad Pitt, and they all danced like Beyonce. And so I didn't get any parts, not even the 8-year-old part. But I tried. I tried. I was in the astronaut program. Well, not really. I was at Baylor doing my residency, and they came and they said, who wants to be an astronaut? Yeah. And so we went down, 15 of us, and at the end of 2 weeks, 14 of us left and one stayed. But I was at NASA doing the twist and wanting to be an astronaut. When I was in the doctor's lounge and I saw people flying off the buildings at 9/11 in New York, I was enraged. And we had someone in there that was saying, now you will get what you deserve, you Americans. And it really pissed me off, man. That guy ended up getting arrested for funding terrorism, by the way, a physician here in town. And so I went to my recruiter, and he said, don't worry, man. Stateside. Don't ever believe the recruiter when he says you'll never be deployed. So I got deployed a bunch of times. But it was so cool, because I got to fly Blackhawks, and I decided who flew the Apaches. So I'm flying in war, shooting at things and getting shot at and going on missions. And being in the military, you're not only killing and destroying, you're helping. You're building cities, you're building schools, you're dealing with poverty, you're educating people. It's a cool job. I never would have done that had I not been a physician. I started to, since I got beat up so much when I was a kid, I really enjoyed, martial arts. So I started working for HBO and for Showtime. I've done over 25 world championship fights. I've been around the world doing fights. So cool. I used to be Manny Pacquiao's personal doctor, so I would fly to the Philippines. We would go to Gensan and hang out. Awesome. One day we were doing the HBO pre-fight, and we were in Vegas, and we went to the private room behind the private room, and guess who we had dinner with? Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt, Jack Nicholson. Oh my God. Angelina looks like, Leah, can you stand up? Really thin, really hot, really big head. Yeah. Hair, they do the hair all morning. And Brad, oh my God. I don't even like guys. He was so handsome. I didn't even want to be in the room with the guy. And Jack Nicholson, every old person in the room is your hero. He was drunk. But he was a fun drunk. A little guy that grew up 2 blocks from here. He's in NASA. He's flying Blackhawks. He's having dinner with Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. I mean, look at this. You want to pinch yourself. How the hell did I get here? And you know what it is? Don't worry about it. Focus. Be real. If you choose to be a physician, look into their eyes and feel their pain. Cry with them. Tell them you don't know, but I'll find out. And you can't doubt yourself. For a little bit, yes, but not forever. And I think that if you follow where you think you need to be, has anyone here ever read The Alchemist? Raise your hand if you read The Alchemist. Okay, so you remember the theory. Let go, the leaf let goes in the river, and the world conspires to take you to where you need to be. So if I keep thinking I'm going to be a power forward for the Rockets, it ain't going to happen. You just have to let yourself go and see where your skill set takes you. 1, do not define yourself by your profession. Don't be a doctor. Do you know how long? You know that when you go to a party, you can identify a doctor in 8 seconds. You know how? He'll tell you. He'll tell you, hi, I'm a doctor. And it's because, not because they brag, it's because it's so entwined on who we are. Right? That's who we are. I don't think that's too healthy. I think you're a lot more than just that. What a pity if your tombstone said, he was a good doctor. Come on, man. I'm a lot more than that. So don't be nervous and don't be scared about, do I do this or do I do that? Imagine if someone said to me, do you want to be on Broadway or you want to be a physician? I'll take Broadway, man. Oh, I didn't make it. How did I know that wasn't going to open doors for me to represent my country in war and fly these cool machines? How did I know I wasn't going to meet these celebrities? And how did I know I wasn't going to really face the toughest challenges of my life? Because I was a physician. I was walking in the hospital, and I fainted 3 times. I never faint. And I grabbed an ultrasound machine, I put her on my chest, and I had a big tumor in my heart. 2 weeks later, I died. I died twice. I collapsed. I died twice. They actually cut me open. I would show you, but I respect you. And they opened the scar up, and they grabbed my heart and started squeezing it. I thought that when you died, I'm not a religious person, although I have some very spiritual beliefs. I thought when you died, you died. I'm not a weirdo, man. I'm not running around passing, where are you going to go when you die? Have you accepted? I don't criticize that, but that's not me. I'm a science guy, man. I'm a math guy. I'm an evidence data-based person. You told me this works, show me the data. And here I am dead. And I hear this voice. And I always thought when I heard God, it would sound like The Rock. Right? Melendez. No. When I heard God, it was in my own voice. I started talking to myself in words and things that I never would say. Slow down. Take a deep breath. It's okay. You're going to be all right. It's not your time yet. I still have so many things for you to do. Man, that was scary. But it was real. I wasn't under any anesthesia. I wasn't on any medication. I didn't have any perceived thoughts of what was going to happen to me. This is real. I'm talking to myself in words that I would never use. And not even a philosophy. Do I look like a guy that says slow down? I never slow down, man. And here I have myself telling me, slow down, right? So for a long time, I didn't understand why I had been given a second chance. What was my role? And you all remember Maslow's pyramid of needs, right? Food and shelter, being relevant. Food and shelter, autonomy, respect from others, self-respect. Maslow's pyramid of needs. Everyone here has seen it at some class. Well, I'm at the top. That doesn't mean you're at the best, but I'm at the top where I'm trying to maintain relevancy. How can a 63-year-old man who grew up 2 blocks away from here still be relevant to a 17-year-old person? How can I touch your lives? How can I make you say, wow, that old man, he's crazy, but he's got a point. And I believe that this experience was one of the reasons why I'm here. My experience with COVID, where I was on, you name it, MSNBC, CBS, the Today Show, the Tomorrow Show, the In 2 Weeks Show, Sky News, every show, here I am fighting with Cuomo and fighting with all these people of the world, being in panels of these illustrious people. And here I was, representing us, getting data, leading the way, showing us what we needed to do and what we did not need to do. Of course, going back, we made mistakes. But at the time, you're going to let people go to school when you got 70 people dying every day? You're going to let people go to school filled with people my age? Of course not. So for me and for you and for everyone here, as you grow older and your life gives you these experiences of, Lord forbid, your father, your mother dying, losing a child, getting divorced, getting a terrible disease, having something horrible happen to you, it will change your life. Not getting into medical school or only getting into 3, however you define it. It will change your life. And it will change the way you think today. So I'm going to leave you with 2 thoughts because Leah needs to talk to you too. The first thought I want to give you is there is so much hope. If you believe sitting out there that you can't make it or that the future is without hope, I'm here to tell you we got 1 billion years. 1 billion years. So yes, your great-great-grandkids will still be around. So don't believe this stuff. There is global warming. We need to do something about it. Black plague killed 200 million people. COVID, 6-7 million people. In 1994, I don't know if you guys remember, the Russians thought we had launched rockets at them. It only takes 10 nuclear to 100 nuclear bombs to destroy the world. They were about to launch. This was just 20, 30 years ago. We've been this close. When the super collider was finished, everyone thought it was going to create mini black holes and the world was going to be usurped. So yeah, we can't take things for granted. But in all likelihood, you got time. Please have hope. The second message I want to leave you with is, do you need to be humble, but at the same time be self-assertive and know who you are? Understand that just like you're not better than anyone, no one is better than you. And define your choices by the way you want to live. If you don't know what your role in life is, if you don't know at your eulogy or what you would say at your dad's eulogy, those characteristics that to you are important. To me, building deep relationships with people, your parents, your kids, your schoolmates. If you can develop deep relationships with people, it's a testimony to your ability to be humble, but yet to be assertive, to learn, but yet to teach, to be present, but yet to be absent. So if you're able to get along with people, to me, that's how I define, a successful life. Don't get lost along the way. I have 12 houses, 42 cars, 30 watches. I should be an attorney. And it gets a point in your life where who cares the size of your eyelashes or other parts of your body? Who cares? It's just not important. Don't buy into the nonsense. So define your life. Do you want to live a normal life? Whatever that means. A regular life, nighttime manager at Stripes, perfectly okay. Or do you want to change the world? And if you want to have an impact in life, if you want to leave this world and say, wow, this guy or this girl, you have to commit to excellence. All the time. Your room, your hygiene, the way you study, the way you respect other people, you have to commit to excellence. In medicine, if you're not committed to excellence, why would you want me to be your doctor? Doesn't make sense. So I'm giving you a tall task, but I'm speaking to you from my heart. And I guarantee you, one of the reasons I'm here today is because God has given me a chance to talk to you. And you're giving me a lot more than what I'm giving you. So thank you for listening to me.
All right. Moving on, our next speaker, Miss Leah Wise, was born and raised in Premeta, Texas. She's the daughter of David and Christella Wise. She graduated from Harlingen High School. Afterwards, she attended the University of Texas at Austin, where she graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Political Communication and a concentration in Women and Gender Studies. She obtained her Doctor of Jurisprudence from St. Mary's University School of Law shortly after beginning her practice. And Ms. Wise was voted Best Attorney by the Valley Morning Star's Reader's Choice Awards in 2017 and again in 2018. She enjoys being actively involved in her community and spending time with family. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Leah Wise.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thank you all so much for having me. Now, I have not been on Broadway. I have not flown Blackhawks. I've not died, thank God. And I've never met Angelina Jolie, but thank you for thinking I look like her. But I still feel like I have a pretty cool story, and I'm excited to share it with you all. I am much younger than Dr. Melendez, no offense. So I feel like it wasn't too long ago that I was literally sitting in these seats, nervous as hell about my life. Because honestly, when I was 16, 17, 18 years old, I had no clue what I was gonna do with my life. I had no direction. I didn't know a single doctor. I knew one lawyer, and I had only ever spoken to him, 3 or 4 times. He was a man. I didn't know any female lawyers. And so I was truly very lost in life. So when I talk to high school kids, I always say, if you don't have it all figured out, that's totally fine. You are so young. There's so much ahead of you. Your passions are already inside of you. It might take a little while for them to manifest and to come out, but they will eventually. So please don't stress so much about finding your purpose so early on in life. Because I know there's a lot of pressure from our family, our parents, our teachers, our principals to have it all figured out, right? What are you gonna study? What are you gonna be? And that's a lot of pressure on a 17-year-old. So I didn't know what I was going to do, but I decided, you know what? I'm gonna have fun doing it. So I moved to Austin and honestly had way more fun than I should have. Is anybody here planning on moving out of town for college? Raise your hand. Okay. I had a lot of fun. I was on 6th Street probably, every weekend. And, but I was also really intimidated. And I feel like this is something I want to share with you all because being from the RGV, I felt like I had this inferiority complex, which is so stupid. I thought, okay, I'm just a Valley girl. I'm just a young Latina. I've never traveled the world. I don't know, important people. I've never met any doctors. I had only ever met one lawyer. And I thought these people, these young 18-year-olds had already lived the life that Dr. Melendez has lived. They were hanging out with celebrities. They'd traveled the world. They had gone to these expensive private schools, and their parents were doctors and lawyers and business owners, and I felt like, wow, I really don't have anything in common with these people. I must be inferior to them. And that was one of the biggest and most untrue thoughts I've ever had in my life. Looking back, I now realize that Valley kids, RGV kids, the Latino culture is so rich, so important, so interesting that I wish I could have realized when I was in college in Austin that I brought just as much, if not more, to the table than these other kids who went to, really nice private schools and had jet-setted around the world. So please, because a lot of you raised your hand when you said you're leaving South Texas to go to college. Please do not fall into the same mindset that I fell into. You have just as much, if not more, to offer than everybody else. I've sat in the McAllen Education Foundation meetings. I am blown away by the things you all are exposed to. Like, wow, you all are way ahead of the game, way ahead of what I was at 17 and 18 years old. Y'all are very, very lucky to be from such an amazing school district. So anyway, I graduated from college, and guess what? I was still lost. I still didn't know what I wanted to do. I was 22 years old. I had my degree, and I was like, okay, what now? So I decided to take a job. I was working at the state capitol for a state senator, and it was there that I really fell in love with the idea of being an advocate for my community. And so, because I saw all these legislators on the Senate floor advocating for their constituents, right? Saying, we need to pass these laws for my constituents and so on and so forth. And I thought, I want to do that. I want to be an advocate for my community, but I have no desire to run for office, right? And so I thought, okay, the best way for me to be an advocate for my community and for my clients was to go to law school. So I took the LSAT. I moved to San Antonio. I went to St. Mary's University School of Law for law school. And I ended up finding that I really loved being an advocate for my clients. So after law school, I took the bar exam. Does anybody here want to be a lawyer? A few of you. Oh, I see somebody I know. A few of you. The bar exam was 3 days long. It was a 3-day long exam, and you don't find out until several months later if you passed it or not. So it wasn't until 3 months later, I passed the bar exam, awesome. Now what? Back in the same place I was at when I was 17, 18 years old. I have my undergraduate degree, I have my law degree, I'm now a licensed attorney. What kind of law do I want to practice? Okay, so here I was, 26 years old, still unsure about my role in life. And so I decided to open up my own law practice with $0 in savings. I have no idea what I was thinking. It was truly the most difficult time of my life. I had over $60,000 of student debt that I had racked up in law school, and really no savings at all. I mean, I probably had a few $100s to my name. I opened up my law practice, and I started representing injured persons who had been involved in work accidents, car accidents, 18-wheeler accidents, and I realized this is so fulfilling to me. I am able to help people throughout the most difficult time of their life. Some of my clients, have lost their lives. Some of them have been so irreparably injured that they could no longer walk. They can't work anymore. They can't provide for their families anymore. And so it was my job to help them through this difficult time of their life and make sure that they were properly compensated and represented. So I really fell in love with plaintiff's side personal injury work. But the issue with being a plaintiff's attorney is that it was just a bunch of old men. No offense to Dr. Melendez, is he still here? It was just, I mean, if you think about it, if you drive along the expressway, who are the people you see on the billboards? A bunch of older men, which is nothing wrong with that. They have gone through, they've gone through their own trials and tribulations to get where they are today. But the reason why I mention that is because I was a 26-year-old young lawyer, and I thought, how am I going to break into this industry if it's all older men who have made all this money and they can afford billboards, they can afford TV commercials, they can afford whatever they want. And so that was really scary to me because I knew this was my passion. I knew this is the kind of law I wanted to practice. But again, I had little to no money. I was, barely making rent every month, making my car payment. I was barely scraping by. And whatever I did have, I was using it to try and advertise myself to get more clients. But back in 2017, there were very little lawyers advertising on social media. And so I thought, okay, how can I get my name out there for free? So I got on Instagram, I got on Facebook, and I just started, putting out content, tips, what to do if you've been in an accident, what to do if you got injured at work, what steps to take if you've been injured wrongfully. And little by little, I started getting more clients in the door, and I felt, wow, I have really felt like I could break into this industry, this legal field that not very many young women have been able to do. But I was so insecure and so scared because I felt like, why are no young women doing this? There must be a reason. It must be too hard. And I still remember one day I went to the courthouse in Cameron County, which is in Brownsville. I had a case over there. And the bailiff tried to kick me out of the courtroom. And I was like, what's going on? And he said, ma'am, this area is for lawyers only. And I looked at him and I was like, I am a lawyer. And he quickly realized what was going on. He apologized. And I felt like, wow, not only do I feel like a brand new lawyer and I don't know much and I don't have a lot of money, even the bailiff doesn't believe that I'm a lawyer. Like, am I really going to make it? Am I really going to make it on my own? Luckily, I believed in myself enough, and I was so passionate about this area of law that I decided I wasn't going to give up. I was going to keep trying and keep trying. Little by little, my clients started coming in the door. They started referring their friends, their family. I got more people following my tips on social media. And in 2020, we were able to secure the largest settlement in the state of Texas for that year. So I went from almost no money in savings in 2016 to in 2020 building a 7-figure business. So if you today feel like you don't know what you're going to do with your life, or you don't know what it is your passion or your calling is, please remember my story. Remember that I was 26 years old with a law degree, having no idea what I was going to do, getting criticism from every, single group in my life saying, Leah, you should just get a job. I don't think you're going to make it on your own. You don't have enough money to compete with these, big attorneys with the billboards. And so I got so much criticism from people. But I knew, okay, this is my passion. This is what I want to do. Even if I have to, sacrifice for 3-4 years before I start seeing the fruits of my labor, that's fine because I know that this is what I'm passionate about. And today, now I'm one of those super annoying billboard lawyers that you see when you're driving on the expressway, yelling at you on TV. I know it's super annoying, but I'm so glad that I stayed the course. I'm so glad that I believed in myself. I'm so glad that I decided not to listen to the people who were criticizing me. One of the other things I like to share with young students is that if somebody is bringing you down, if somebody is criticizing you, if somebody's jealous of you, they're only doing that because they're already below you. If you are super happy in life, if you are super successful, you are too busy enjoying your success. You are too busy living your best life to even care about bringing other people down. So the next time you feel discouraged because people are saying you can't achieve something or you're not going to make it or that's a stupid career path, just know that there's something wrong with them. It has nothing to do with you. People who have an issue with you, it has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. Because if they were truly happy and secure in themselves, they would have no desire to bring those around them down. So please always remember that. I love to speak to high school students because I think it's so important to share with you all that at one point I had no money, no confidence in myself, no direction, and a lot of people telling me that I wasn't going to make it. And I am so glad that I'm now a testament to the idea that if you stay the course, believe in yourself, work hard, fulfill your passions, and really put in the effort to take care of yourself, you can achieve your dreams. The last thing I want to leave you with today is this is something that I wish somebody had told me when I was your age. The most important relationship in your life is not with your family. It's not with your romantic partner, your boyfriend, girlfriend. It's not with your friends. The most important relationship in your life is the relationship you have with yourself, okay? Because if you are your own biggest cheerleader, supporter, biggest fan, if you are secure in yourself, you're going to invite so much more great things into your life. So much more. If you respect yourself, everybody else is going to respect you. If you love yourself, other people are going to love you. If you respect your health, you're going to thrive and succeed. It's so important to put yourself first. And I know that sounds selfish and people say, Leo, that's super selfish advice. And it is. But I truly feel that if you cannot have a very strong relationship with yourself, you cannot then help others. That is the best way to help others. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So please, if there's anything you remember today from this speech, it's to be gentle with yourself, be forgiving of yourself, give yourself grace, give yourself time and love, because having a very strong relationship with yourself is going to then lead to all of the success and love that you want in your life. So thank you all so much for having me here today. I hope that you all have your wildest dreams come true. I hope so much success. And I don't hope that you reach my level of success. I really don't. I hope you surpass my level of success. And I know for a fact that some of you in here will. So thank you all so much. It was so good to speak with y'all.
One more round of applause for powerhouse attorney Leo Wise and world-class physician Dr. Ivan Melendez. So as we close today, students, I want you all to know that this was a treat for you all. We hope that you're inspired today. I do want to commend you all on your behavior. You all were very, very attentive. It says a lot about you all. Have a wonderful, blessed day, and we will continue working hard to provide a world-class education for all of you. Thank you.